Yeah, go ahead. We recorded. It's recording.
And we're live.
We're live.
We are live on tape.
Yes, live on tape from scenic Upper West Side. They call it the Upper West Side.
Yeah, what's that about?
Yeah, you know.
You never call it the Harlem.
Yeah, you never call it the El Barrio.
No, you call it the Bronx. It's the only one.
The Staten Island.
There's no the Queens.
No, the Brooklyn. Ugh. Go back to whatever suburb you're from if you're calling it the Brooklyn.
The Brooklyn.
Yeah, the Brooklyn.
So what, are you living in the Brooklyn now?
TJ, how the hell are you?
Oh, dude, I'm doing great.
Yeah. I was going to say, I think this is, I was once sick and we were doing the pod and I think you called it my flu game. I think this is both our flu game, both physically and mentally.
Mentally, big time. Mentally, this is going to be my flu game.
Yeah.
Because I and Shane could attest, all of 10 minutes ago was so not in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when we watch Eps, we're watching Eps. You
Yeah.
know, there's something about there. I think maybe call it my superpower. There's something about watching TV. No matter what mental state I'm in, boy, I can lock in.
Well, it's calming, right? Like there is like a reason we do. It's therapeutic, and we hope that you also think the same.
Yeah.
It's really kind of nice to just watch. I'm not going to call it mindless television, but it can be that. You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And it just, it could put me at ease.
Makes all the difference.
Otherwise, it's just stressing about all the things you got going on in life.
Meanwhile,
busy week.
I think, I hear you sniffling. Not now, obviously, because we're professionals and we wouldn't do that on broadcast. But I've been sniffling. Man, I fucking didn't take my allergy med for one day this week, and I feel like I got hit by a truck. That is a lesson for all of us.
What are you allergic to?
Well, I think it's just the season changing, but it's also my girlfriend's cat, which is not great because we're going to be moving in together. But, I think, literally...
You can get the shots. They do shots.
I don't want to do the shots.
That's the only way that I know, because I was wondering that too. At one point, I was like, "What if I do meet a cat lady?"
Yeah.
Luckily, I did not.
Well, I didn't realize my mom's always been allergic. I've never been around cats to the extent that I am around my girlfriend's cat to really know that I'm allergic to them.
Yeah.
But yeah, shit's fucking rough, dude. I feel like it was one day without the allergy pill, and I've had just gross
Do you take it
mucus.
every single time you're around that cat?
I take it every day.
Oof.
Yeah.
That's an expense too, dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
Allergy
it
pills
started
aren't cheap.
recently.
What do you take? What do you Zyrtec?
Just like a store brand. I just take the Walgreens brand allergy,
okay.
24-hour. Yeah. So I take it every day at 10.
I take that Allegra D.
Yeah, you getting that Allegra D?
I really only picked Allegra because it was available.
Uh-huh.
That was it.
Yeah.
I had no...
You walk into the store, the first thing that you see. You're
I just saw the purple one. I liked the packaging was nice.
Sure.
Zyrtec.
I've got Zyrtec in there. I've taken it before.
Zyrtec pills feel a little cheap to me.
Yeah?
They seem a little thinner and they're tinier.
You think they're not giving you the same amount that you get in that
the same thing with Claritin. Claritin, that's such a tiny little pill.
Yeah.
I know, look, I guess size doesn't count, especially in pills, but I'm just saying.
I think what I'm saying is I probably should see an allergist, but fuck that right now. You know what I mean? It's also the fall. I get sick during the fall. It's whatever. What I'm trying to get at, listener.
Okay, hold on. Let's talk about allergies real quick.
Okay, sure. I don't know anything about them.
What are they like? So what, doctor, I was eating seafood the other day, and then I broke out
My
in
chest
a rash.
did this thing.
And they're like, oh, what'd you eat?
Mm-hmm.
You say crab. And they're like, oh, don't eat crab.
Mm-hmm. That'll be $15,000.
Yes. And I'm sorry, I'm out of network.
Yeah. So it's actually going to be $25,000.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
No,
sorry,
I'm sure.
Sorry,
Look,
allergists.
they do important work. What allergies do you have? We've lived together for so long. I actually don't know if you have any allergies.
I mean, I'm allergic to cats.
Okay.
Dander.
Sure.
And then...
I thought you said gander, like geese. That's what I thought you said.
I'm allergic to ganders.
Yeah, I'm allergic.
When geese, I'm fine with one goose, but when
they become in a crowd,
when a goose is a gander, then
can't do that.
Cooked.
Can't do that.
Also amoxicillin.
I got
'Cause-
penicillin.
I had mono when I was a kid,
Oh.
and I
Did you get it like in a fun way, or did you just get it for, like you didn't get it making out with a lady?
No, I did not get it make it out. I don't know how I got it, but I'll tell you what, when you do get mono as a kid, everyone immediately is like, "Ooh, you got it from making it." You do play that up a little bit. You're
Absolutely.
Like, oh yeah, I got mono.
But meanwhile, it's like one of like the worst illnesses you can get. Like I think it just wipes you out, right?
It was miserable,
Yeah.
and then
And it lasts like a month and a half.
They gave me amoxicillin to manage the symptoms early on, and then all of a sudden, a full body rash.
Yeah.
And I was like, "What's happened?" Like that had never happened to me before.
No
and
bueno.
To this day, I'll still list it. And I'm like, I don't think it's a relevant drug for most of the doctors to know. Like, you go to a doctor's office and fill out a form, I will write amoxicillin, cats.
Cats. I'm glad you lead. Like it's alphabetical. That's what you're doing. But anyway, I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm just setting the expectation a little lower. That doesn't mean it's not going to be a good episode. I'm just saying.
I feel like they've already got so much important information.
I don't think anybody's listening anymore. That's where I'm at. Welcome to Cleveland Rocks. We are two men on a mission from God to listen to watch every episode of the Drew Carey Show, and then I believe we're both going to just kill ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, no, we won't like have to physically kill ourselves. I believe we'll just ascend to the heavens.
That is true. It's actually not going to be like a suicide situation. It's
and
going
at the
to
pearly
be,
gates,
Peter will meet us.
Yes.
And he'll be like, "Do you want a buzz beer?" And we'll be like, "Hell yeah, dude."
We'll just be one of the gang.
It'll be good. We got 2 episodes here in season 2. Episode 11, episode 12. We get a goodbye. We get a hello. I like the sunrise, sunset nature of these episodes.
I didn't even consider the hello because we already knew one of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
But now we get a more formal introduction to them also as well. And like they become more of a bigger player. We'll see how long this arc lasts in the back half for the second episode.
I don't trust it. Every time we get an arc now, I'm
it's
like,
never that long.
It's going to be 2 eps.
Yeah, max, and then it's done.
2 eps and it's gone.
Mm-hmm. But it's fun while it lasts.
Also, there's another little romance in there, too, that I'm like, oh, is this going to be a recurring character?
Yeah.
No?
I don't know. Drew
just is kind of...
He doesn't know what he's doing either.
Drew's just fucking around lately, man. We were talking about Mimi getting laid a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
now
with
Drew's
Lyle.
getting laid.
Yeah. So let's go with the first episode. Season 2, episode 11. Lisa gets married. We talked about it with Lyle. They're really just fucking giving the game away with these titles.
Yeah, I never even, and you know what? Upon further review, the people with fucking TV Guide were probably like, "Oh, what the
Pissed off."
Yeah.
I can't imagine. Like, just that's the whole thing. But this also doubles, I guess, as our last Christmas episode. Officially, like we've been having a little bit of like on and off of like them teasing holiday stuff. Like,
well, now this is like in the throes Christmas. Like we
get a Santa, we get stuff to that point.
Decorations everywhere, all over the set.
It starts with the cold open with Drew negotiating with a collective of small people, of little people, about who are Santa's elves. At the department store, and they want higher raises.
Yes.
The little people union has come to Drew Carey, and they want better benefits and they want more money. $15 an hour specifically, fair wage
to be an elf.
Yeah,
I mean, okay.
Yeah, in 1997.
I see that even
makes it worse.
To me, it's not. That's a little much.
Yeah.
Consider what minimum wage was.
Yeah,
is.
Yeah.
It was and is in 1997. And these elves, these little guys want what? To just hang around Santa Claus and direct children?
Well,
$15?
We'll learn. It's more than
we
you
just
would
started
anticipate.
Giving like fast food workers that kind of money.
Yeah, that's true. These guys can't reach the fryers. It's a whole other thing. But as we learn later on in the episode, it's not like an easy task to deal with Santa. True?
Fair.
Right?
You know what?
They know their working conditions.
Yes, they didn't I didn't understand how abusive the boss was.
Yes. That's what I'm getting at. This is a pro-union podcast.
Okay, what do you think that Santa was making if these elves just won $15 an hour?
I feel like it's got to be 25, right? 30. It's a lot because he's interfacing with the kids more.
Yeah.
That's a whole actual like other level of performance.
If you are a mall Santa Claus
Yeah.
during the holiday season, write us. Tell us what
Yes.
you make.
Yes.
We won't blow up your spot. It's just
No.
informative.
It can be anonymous.
It's just for us.
We'll be under the table with it.
Yeah.
And they actually make a joke about they keep going back and forth. Drew keeps stumbling over his words and finding you're gonna get me at the knees. Obviously.
You guys are kneecapping me.
Short
here.
jokes. But yeah, basically they walk out on Drew because they get word that they get a better deal from Saks.
But before they walk out, Oswald and Lewis came in.
Yes, and they overhear the situation and they are enthralled with the idea of making $11 an hour, which I think is what Drew had proposed.
Right.
To be the Elves. So the Elves get a deal from Saks. They say, fuck it, we're gone. Drew hires Oswald and Lewis on the spot to be the new mall elves for the department store.
Yeah.
For Winfred Louder.
And they gives them the costumes for the regular elves. So skimpy, sexy, slutty.
Yeah, we're going to see
costumes.
some slutty elves in this. I bet if you ever want to see Diedrich Bader upper thigh, ooh, man. This is the episode for you, let me tell you.
Oswald and Lewis, now the de facto elves for Winfred Louder. Cut to the new intro again.
We're still dealing with it. The new intro, you may remember as the old intro for the first episode.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I miss the other one.
I do too.
I kind of am
And then
like,
they're going to change it again, we know, in the next season, right?
Yeah.
With Cleveland Rocks. I don't know. It just feels like it's like a growing period. I think they're working out kinks with things here. So, it's growing pains.
You think at this point any of them realize this is going to be like 9 seasons or however many seasons?
I don't know.
How many seasons was it again?
9.
It was 9. Yeah,
9
I was going to
seasons.
say.
You were right. I don't know. 2 in, I don't know what any of the contracts look like with this stuff. These are probably things we could research. But again, that goes against the heart of the show.
The heart of the show.
The beating heart of this show is pure ignorance.
So anyway, cut back after the intro. We're in the office, and it seems like Mr. Wick is a little in his feels.
Yeah, he's feeling inadequate. Basically, he feels like he's not being clever enough as of late with how he fires people.
Yeah, he's lost a little bit of his mojo.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to get it back.
There is a line in here that I like about, Mr. Wick was saying, what are some of the ones that you've liked that I've done? And Drew's like, well, The Price is Right, you're fired.
Yeah. Wow. Could you imagine?
Who
would have thought that 20 years
thought?
later, Drew Carey would be hosting that show? Fucking nuts.
For the rest of his life.
Yeah, I think he's.
I mean, that's like a Supreme Court justice job.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd have
you
that
can't leave.
until.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a pain in the ass to appoint a new game show host. Yeah, but so he gives him that, but then Drew, lists through all this stuff and then goes to Mr. Wick. Luckily enough, I think I have a solution for you. Drew Carey has come up with a surefire formula to fire the correct people. And there's
I didn't get what factors into it.
Well, there's some things. It's like I don't understand the exact math of it, but it's like number of absences and number of lateness, like late days in the office.
And then there also just seems to be like
Sales,
a general like
vibe.
apathy and like mistakes,
Yeah.
like leaving your register open or that kind of
Yeah, exactly.
shit,
Just
as we
like
come to learn.
being unattentive.
Right.
Right. So, whatever. Wick's like, oh, we'll give it a try. Mimi comes in. She's there's the Mimi subplot here is fascinating to me. She's coordinating the office holiday party, it seems.
Yeah.
And she's handing out invites, and her and Drew go back and forth about who they're going to bring and how it's going to go for them. This isn't where we find out who Mimi wants to take, though, right? That's later in the episode, I believe. I'm trying to remember. I guess we could say it now.
No, I guess. I mean, either way, she eventually in this episode comes on strong. It seems like she would like to take Mr. Wick.
Right.
But
Which is a bold choice as her direct supervisor.
Right. I feel like that we learned this early, though, in this episode, in this first scene.
Yeah.
She kind of lets on a flirtatious
Vibe with him.
Yeah. because, again, he's feeling inadequate. And then he was clearly talking with Drew at his desk. And as he walked by, she mentioned something. I forget what it was. And Drew calls her out on being flirtatious.
Yeah, with her boss.
With her boss. So
that's, again, just another curveball in terms of trying to pin down Mimi's
Mimi has a crush on her
crush on Mr. Wick. Maybe it's just foreign guys. He's British. Right,
and the Spanish
guy from the last thing. We have Antonio Banderas, obviously, running throughout this.
Oh,
maybe
you're onto something.
A non-American flavor.
Yeah, and Drew being the most American of Americans.
Drew is a French fry. Do you understand? Like
yes.
Drew is good potato, salt, just fat, little on in. So yeah, and it's also at this point, they're ragging on each other about, being who's the loneliest, basically. I just wanted to bring up, in terms of the Mimi Drew wars, I think exploding tissue box is a very fun little physical gag.
That was, and well, I mean, really, he crushed the lead up to it.
Yeah.
I mean, just pretending to wipe away his tears, he grabbed his tissue box. You're like, oh my God, what is this weird, out of character, sensitive side to Drew?
Right.
Mimi whips the tissue box away. Bang.
Yeah.
Explodes right in her face.
Pulls one more out, and the whole thing just pops. It's fucking wild. So we then learn that the Drew and Kate have been coordinating a office wedding shower for one of their coworkers.
Yeah, one of their coworkers
is getting married. So Kate comes by with a cake for said bride, and it says, "Congrats, Lisa."
Yeah.
And she commends Drew on being really cool about this whole thing. And it's here that Drew realizes it is not the Lisa he thought was getting married. He thought Lisa in hardware.
Oh, I had Lisa in appliances.
Oh, you know what? Let's split the difference on that. I think it's about the same. I don't remember what it was. I thought it was hardware. It could have been appliances. But anyway, he thought it was an older, elderly Lisa that was finally getting married.
Very old Lisa.
In reality, it is his Lisa. It's his ex-girlfriend is
who
tying the knot.
I also forgot would still be working at the store.
Well, that's the thing, right? She disappears after the third episode.
Yeah, I forgot she would
just
still be
gone this season. And this is the Drew Carey fan wiki has confirmed for me this is her last.
This is
regular
in
appearance.
fact the last.
This is the end we see of Lisa. But yeah, Lisa's getting married, and Drew doesn't really know how to react to that information. He gets it, and his brain just starts to short circuit a little bit, and he doesn't seem to be taking it well. But unfortunately for him, he doesn't have any time to process it because Lisa comes in and the party's about to start.
Yeah, we learn that she's marrying Trent in Men's Furnishing.
Yes.
Which what is Men's Furnishing?
You know what? It's like
so just here's a bunch of leather couches.
I was gonna say it's just beanbag chairs. Dude, he's just passing around a Nerf
gaming
football all day. Yeah.
It's
up, bro?
Just the varying sizes of behind the door basketball hoops.
It's that pull-up bar that you can get that you stick
attach
to your door hinge. Yes.
And dumbbells.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Men's Furnishings.
I do love the idea of like tailoring furniture for men. Like it's just so dumb.
No, one thing that most men have zero idea about.
Yeah. Well, it's similar to like, have you seen this thing of like men wedding bands?
Are those just like the black ones?
Well, there's like black, or it's like, you can get it in a pattern. It's rubberized, like it'll come off your. I don't know who's living in a world where they're worried about a ring being too tight on their finger. You know what I mean?
I guess it is. I feel like for some of those now, maybe there's some inherent sexism in this premise, but like,
can't wait.
The idea for those are like these men work with their hands, and like a metal band might get too hot,
right? Or there can be problems at the office or the workplace with it, yeah,
right. And at least a rubber one isn't going to get caught on anything or isn't going to heat up or this sort of thing.
I think the one thing I would say, though, is then to also double down on it and be like, and you can get the Punisher logo on it. Like, that seems a little... I get it from the standpoint of, like, men working with their hands, but then it's like we're going to... You can get it with your favorite sports team. Do you want a Detroit Lions wedding ring?
Yeah.
But, yeah, so Lisa's coming over. She's, she commends Drew for also being so cool with this because it's only been 3 months time-wise since they split.
Also, another insane thing.
Yeah.
Lisa's getting married after fucking 3 months.
She's kind of given this whole sort of vibe for a while, though, I would say. Like, she's a little...
How long was she with Drew?
Well, officially, because they were doing the dance, remember, in a lot of season 1, where it's like, but probably, like, officially, I don't know, like a handful of months, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. She moves fast,
Drew
man.
was real. I guess they did. She moved it. She agreed to move in with Drew after a few months.
She gave him a dog. She gave my man a dog.
And as we come to learn, I guess her man's Trent is also a little impulsive.
Right, exactly. We get to that later. But so I can't remember what the shirt says, but she opens Drew's gift, and you can clearly tell that Drew thinks it's another Lisa, because it's like a novelty shirt that like talks about like tits sagging and something else.
Tit sagging, but also it's weirdly like
sexual.
It's
like weirdly like
I'll remember what a hot thing you were.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, even if, because it does almost vaguely sound like he did write it for the right Lisa.
Right.
Or did he have a relationship with old Lisa in appliances?
Hots for the old lady. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, so Lisa opens the wrong gift from Drew.
Well, the right gift, but the wrong Lisa.
Right.
Yeah. So there we go. We've established now Lisa's getting married, and the rest of this is kind of Drew handling that emotionally.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, it's not great how he handles it. Lewis and Oswald have a hard day at work as elves. They come in and they're just exhausted in their too tight, dresses. And they sit down. They get a call.
I think Lewis has like a mark on his face, like he got hit.
Yeah, yeah. We get a sense that the workplace is not great for them.
Right.
There seems to be a lot of issues. To that
he said
point,
that damn Santa's been riding us all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they get a phone call at Drew's house from prison, and it's the Santa. And the mall Santa has been like arrested for
He's like, yes, I accept the charges.
Yes, for drunken disturbance, I guess.
Yeah.
And he tries to get them to bail him out of jail so he can go to work the next day. So they can all go to work the next day. Yeah. Bad Santa. Way before Bad Santa, Drew Carey was on this shit.
Why bail him out?
I don't know. They need to work.
No, but can't they? They can just show up, and then one of them has to be. They already became the de facto elves. Why cannot one of them
could be Santa?
Do you think they could have been a fucking elf?
A little more than Santa has to be fat and big and bearded. I say this as the Santa representative.
You could be
my
put
culture's
a pillow
not your costume. No, no, you can't.
You can put a pillow in there.
I need a big fat white guy sitting in that fucking chair talking to my kid.
I want to be able to lift his shirt and blow raspberries right on his tummy.
Exactly. I want him to have to take a half-hour break at 11 because he has like high blood pressure. That's what I need. Ryan Stiles isn't going to fit that bill, bud. Hey, everybody, this episode of Cleveland Rocks is brought to you by Manscaped. Manscaped, the global leader in men's lifestyle and grooming. TJ, you got a face. You got a beautiful fucking face.
Oh, buddy, you're going to make me blush.
Yeah.
And if you can, for those at home, I'm blushing right now.
And you can see that you're blushing because you shave your face.
Oh, you better believe
I live the beard lifestyle, but you have like recently started shaving your face again. It's good. You got a good jawline.
I missed it.
Yeah.
I can't grow much in the way of facial hair. Now, I do grow some, and that's where this kind of comes into play. You know, I could never get the exact right length.
Right.
I always struggled, and I always hated going the clean shave with the razors, and you got to dispose.
Yeah, there's a lot of upkeep needed, a lot of technical equipment needed.
Right.
Our friends at Manscaped helped you out. Not a problem with their new product, the Chairman Pro. That's right.
Yes, the electric foil shaver. You know, a lot of people think Manscaped is just for balls. I always thought, honestly, my introduction to Manscaped was years ago. I just was looking for something to help shave my balls.
Yeah.
And you know what? I have been using this product, this particular shaver that I've had.
The lawnmower, I believe.
Yeah, one of the lawnmowers I've been using for 5 or 6 years now. It's just excellent. World-class product. So then whenever it came into play that they were doing a face shaver.
Yeah. You figured the same quality that you get on your balls, you can also get on your face.
Why not treat my face like my balls?
There you go. Yeah, we've been saying it for years.
Yeah.
Manscaped really outdid themselves with the Chairman Pro. We're talking a skin-safe 4-blade foil. We're talking a stubble trimmer, so that way you can still show, TJ, that you have a little bit of
Exactly.
testosterone.
Exactly. I don't like the clean shave. It gets a little too baby face. This gives you that perfect essence of masculinity, but still keeps it nice and tight and clean, just like you wanted it.
Absolutely. They've got a bunch of stuff with it, and the best thing is it's waterproof. The trimmers specifically, you can use them in the shower, clean yourself up, one-stop shop, or use it at a sink. I think you should look at yourself probably when you're shaving. Hot tip. Hot tip, look at your face when you're shaving.
It helps.
Yeah.
And my favorite feature on the razors, and it was the same thing on the lawnmower that I just mentioned, the spotlight, the little LED spotlight,
the little flashlight.
So you can see every little detail on your skin.
Can't miss
perfect.
a thing. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
So if you want to pick up the Chairman Pro or the lawnmower, or if I can just shout it out, the crop preserver, you can get all of that and more at manscaped.com. And if you use our promo code Cleveland, that's CLEVELAND at checkout, you'll get 20% off your order plus free shipping.
How about that?
Keganga, what a bargain.
Yeah.
So-
You can only get that here.
Yes.
Don't even listen.
Don't listen to other podcasts.
Other podcasts.
I'm sure it's not similar.
That's our world-class deal for you. 20% off.
And free shipping.
Free shipping.
Only at manscaped.com. Thank you, Manscaped, for sponsoring our podcast.
Can we, I just want to talk about in this scene where they got this call from Santa at Drew's house. Drew is drinking a Kool-Aid pouch. You remember those, weird, they come in the clear bottles where it's just all plastic, no wrapper or anything on it, and they're tall and kind of skinny.
I didn't notice it. He's drinking a Kool-Aid pouch?
He's drinking one of those Kool-Aid plastic clear bottles. I love him.
What's wrong with Drew Carey, man?
That's just what he's sad. He just wants Kool-Aid.
Yeah, it's simple. Yeah, this is what women don't understand about the male psyche, is that sometimes you just need a little. Well, I guess it's not even retro. I was gonna say you need a blast of the past.
Yeah,
but this is Drew's present. He's living in the moment of that little Kool-Aid pouch. Fuck, that's so crazy.
it was the red flavor though.
Yeah,
I don't fuck with
it's the
fruit.
classic.
Fruit punch flavors though. Generally, it's
you know what is a pretty good flavor. We're arguing. I don't want to get into it. It's fruit. It's grape.
Oh yeah,
Grape's
hey,
good.
I do like grape. Liquid IV grape.
Yeah, you love it.
Shout out.
Yeah, they're not sponsoring us, but if you would like to,
Go buy one.
please.
Go to CVS and use promo code Cleve Rocks. That's CLE Rocks.
Yeah, at the front counter of
At
CVS.
the front. Tell the person at
Yeah,
the
yeah,
CVS
yeah.
counter.
They're gonna love it. They're gonna love you doing that.
Anyway, we're back at the office, and Mimi and Belle.
Mimi and Wick.
Mimi and Wick.
I also
God,
put Mr. Bell in my notes, though.
I always put Mr. Bell.
Yeah.
God, the people who watch this show are probably so annoyed that we can't remember, because Mr. Wick is going to last throughout the duration of the rest.
That's right.
Mr. Bell was irrelevant.
Yeah,
he was the first
we
season
didn't even
guy.
we didn't even see his face until the very end. But yeah, no. Mimi and Wick.
Mimi and Wick, this is where a little more of the tension is developing in the office. She is trying to kind of lay it on thick that, the office Christmas party's coming up. I don't have a date.
Do you have a date?
And Mr. Wick also does not have a date. And there's almost a moment here where it seems like he is going to ask her out, which Mimi is so ready for. But
Yeah.
then he gets a call, something, whatever. He has to go back into his office.
He's distracted.
And then Mimi just walks away, gyrating and being like, "Ooh, he almost said it."
Drew catches the whole
Kind of
thing.
like a schoolgirl.
Yeah,
reaction
really
to
excited
this.
because she thinks she knows what's coming. Drew catches the whole thing and just has a field day with it.
Yeah.
Makes fun of her, but whatever. I think Mimi can feel true love
Yes.
from her boss.
Why not?
Yeah.
I want Mimi to have this weird office
Romance. Yeah. Weird office romance.
Although, didn't she talk a lot of shit on the last boss for fucking the employees?
For fucking around with employees. Yeah, but you know what? It's a different boss.
Yeah.
So it's fine.
Matt, how can you deny Craig Ferguson?
Mm-hmm. Drew's formula for firing people is finally coming into fruition. They have the 2 candidates that are on the chopping block. Mimi calls them up for Drew.
Yeah.
One of them is a guy named Stan.
Yeah, Drew didn't know who these guys were.
Yeah, exactly.
They just
ran the
formula.
numbers and they sent them up for him to fire them.
So now Stan's come up. Stan looks kind of like, oh God, he's always in the Adam Sandler movies. Why am I blanking on his name?
Kevin James.
No. It's
Chris Rock.
You can do it.
Oh, Rob Schneider.
Right, Schneider.
He reminds you of Rob Schneider?
Yeah.
Interesting. I wasn't getting that vibe from him.
All right. I got a Rob Schneider vibe from him.
Rob Schneider vibes.
But
you know what? It's entirely possible. Stan, he's
Stan
like an
apparently
older guy.
smokes and
he apparently smokes weed and like it's just there's a whole bunch of shit that we're getting about Stan that just physically from how he looked, I would not have guessed that he was that kind of guy. But dude's rock, dude. Go ahead, Stan. Do your shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and he really doesn't care. He came up and he was like, if this is about smoking in the lobby, like I'm telling you, I'll stop it. This is my last time.
Yeah.
He's very...
He understands how they feel about him already at the game.
Yeah, right.
The other person we come to learn is Lisa's fiance, Trent. Trent gives also like a too cool for this vibe a little bit, but he also seems really nice. Like I'm thinking like golden retriever boyfriend.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And obviously, total surprise to Drew.
Absolutely.
Drew did not intend on firing Lisa. I mean, Lisa's to-be husband, yes. And that's the correct term.
I think he also understands the optics of how it is.
But yeah, he immediately understands how that looks.
Freaks out.
Because he just got all these kudos for being so understanding, and Drew is nothing if not a people pleaser sometimes.
Absolutely. And he doesn't want bad blood with his ex-girlfriend. So he ends up not firing Trent in this situation. He tells Trent he's doing a great job, and that was all he wanted to say, and to send him on his way. Stan does get the boot, but Drew phrases it as like, "Do you want to just stay home all day and smoke?" And he's like, "Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I do. Actually,
well, buddy, Merry
congratulations."
So yeah, then the next scene we see
we're in Santa's workshop.
Exactly, we see our elves, Oswald and Lewis, working hard with their drunken Santa. We get the idea that this guy is not only like abusive, he needs this.
Oh,
like,
the Santa Claus?
Yeah, the Santa guy.
Yeah. I mean, he even has a moment where he's like, I got 1 month a year.
Where
Every
it's
other
all
year,
about me.
time of year, I'm just a fat old man. And now this is my time.
Yeah.
And it's really, but it is like bad Santa.
Yeah,
energy.
they're all fighting by the end of it. Lewis is taking photos of him. Santa's grabbing at his crotch,
right?
Telling like Oswald where to put it and everything. Drew has to come in and break them up from fighting. It's like a whole nightmare situation.
Yeah, I was gonna say like they are. Santa is demanding of Oswald and Lewis, but they are kind of like they can't be the easiest people to work with together.
Agreed. I'm certain of that. It's got Beavis and Butthead,
right?
Sort of chemistry with it. So at the same time, Drew comes down to Sam's workshop to break this up. Lisa comes in, and Drew decides he's going to take the moment to talk to Lisa and tell her about the situation. It does not go well. He argues that he had a completely fair formula for firing her fiance. And she goes, no fucking way. You're just jealous. This, that, the other. You're trying to ruin my life. So, it's a rock and a hard place for Drew. She doesn't buy it.
Right. And, like, how could you?
Right.
A little bit. It's like he was being weirdly nice at one point, and now to just switch on a dime. She's getting a lot of mixed signals from Drew. So, yeah.
I get it. Next day.
They're in the office, and Mimi, back to Mimi's plot, wants a little girl talk with Kate.
Right. She's still hung up on this boy that she's trying to get with. Won't tell Kate who it is because she's like, Kate sleeps around or whatever and doesn't want to talk with her about it. But,
she's really trying to have a sincere moment with Kate, but then
Yeah.
also is such a bitch to her.
No, for sure. She just can't be nice to anyone.
She cannot be nice.
No.
There's not a bone in her body.
She finally does confront Wick a little bit. Wick comes out, and they're still talking about how neither of them has dates, and we get what we think is a moment of vulnerability from Wick, where he's going to be honest with Mimi about his situation and how he might have feelings and wants to go with her. Instead, what we get is he's too nervous to ask a list of 25 women that he wants to go to this fucking office.
What is this weird beta energy from
It's bizarre.
Wick?
It's bizarre.
Someone who comes off with all this, confidence, just cockily firing everyone in the fucking office.
I was going to say somebody who will fire somebody from pulling their name out of a hat.
Yeah.
And he's just like...
No, and he's like, actually, I'm shy around girls.
Can you call the girls for me? Like, it's like so fucking lame.
It's really like, what I'm getting at, it's almost just not believable.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Like, this is, everything we've learned about this character, and now he's also like scared to ask girls out.
Right.
I don't know.
I don't believe it.
I don't believe it whatsoever.
Mimi takes it and understands her.
She's a trooper,
right? She's her assistant.
Yeah.
So she gets an assignment. She starts calling the women, and she starts spreading a lie that he has an STD. And I respect this from Mimi. Yes. I think that's a fucking solid move. It's a good prank on your boss. Fuck that guy.
If you just like pray to God, imagine trying to do anything of the sort in this day and age.
Yeah.
You're done.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, right.
But like, I think in the late 90s, before the internet was really a thing, fucking for sure, that's you can get away with this. So yeah, then Drew finally calls Trent back up, and he's like, "I gotta be honest with you, buddy." Tries to let him down easy. Explains that it's he couldn't do it earlier because he was just afraid to, but. His lateness, his tardiness. We learned that Trent once left his fucking register open just so he could go look at a car accident outside of the department store. He's like, it's just not going to work. And then we get a larger picture of Trent from like his resume.
Yeah.
And he's had like 4 fucking jobs
like
in
a
1
paralegal, a gardener, like
an
ice sculptor,
a career counselor, which is my favorite little cherry on it.
Yeah.
And it just seems like he's impulsive. He makes rash decisions and can't, stick with one thing.
Right.
And when Drew starts talking about this, Trent then starts to think, oh, God, am I doing the same thing with this marriage I'm rushing into?
And Drew's like, no, you're personal, realizing the optics.
Yeah,
he's like, no, your personal life is fine. Do as many rash things as you want.
Yeah, it's okay. Obviously, Trent then makes another rash decision, decides he's going to call off the wedding, and then also decides he quits. So Drew can't fire him. He quits. He realizes immediately how bad this is for Lisa. So he calls down to try to get a hold of her, and she's like in the bridal department trying on the wedding dress she has already put a deposit down on.
Yeah.
So he rushes down and explains the situation to her, and Lisa's like ready to, fuck him up. Like,
oh, Lisa's rearing back
furious.
To punch him.
Yeah.
Reasonable reaction to this.
Absolutely.
But Drew just lays it on him that, oh no, he quit, and he also doesn't want to marry you anymore.
Yeah. I don't think that was really Drew's place to say that.
Yeah, I think he could have let Trent
be the one to break
that news.
Yeah.
But then again, that was going to come back to get him anyway.
For sure. She knows where he lives.
And then luckily, to cut the tension,
to cut the tension of this ex couple fiasco, Lewis runs
in, and we learn that Santa is dead.
Yeah, the drunken Santa is no more. He's dead. He's sitting upright in the chair. They've told the children that are gathered that he's just taking a nap with his eyes open.
Yeah, because he can still, even when he sleeps, he can still watch you to make sure you're being good.
He's always watching. Oswald then comes in, and we go, God, what's going on? And he says the children are starting to have a staring contest with the dead Santa.
Yeah, well, he encouraged them to do it to distract them from the fact that he's
a dead man. So, yeah, that kind of blows up the whole Lisa Drew argument. They have to go deal with a dead man in a Santa suit.
Oh, man.
Fuck.
And then next they're at the house, kind of to close out the episode.
Yeah.
We learned that Santa's last words were, "I'll see you in hell, Oswald."
There you go. And Lisa then
comes over, though.
knocks on Drew's door. and just lays out to him what's going on. You know, Drew thinks they're going to continue the fight and he's going to get fucking clocked.
Yeah.
But then Lisa's like, no, we talked it over. We're actually going to elope up in Niagara Falls.
Yep.
We're going up there. We're leaving. I just wanted to say goodbye to you. And yeah, they have
and then
like
as
a little
wedding,
touching
they have like
moment.
a little moment. And
Yeah.
as a wedding gift, Drew gives her earmuffs.
Because it's going to be cold up there. And yeah, they're planning on like, you know, living in Canada for a while, driving cross country there, and Trent doesn't have a fucking job, so they got to figure out what that's gonna be.
I guess Lisa's just taking all this time off of work too to drive.
Yeah, you know, I think she's just wife now, right? Isn't that how that happens?
Wife to unemployed guy.
Yeah.
That used to be a very common.
Yeah,
I don't think that would float this today. But
yeah,
that used
to be a very common job in that part of the country. I think it might still be. But yeah, so that's the end of Lisa. Goodbye, Katie Silverstone. You were such a babe.
She really was.
Salute.
I loved her.
Thank you
Salute.
so much.
Goodbye.
Have
fun in Canada.
The end is Oswald and Lewis are at the bar trying to pick up women in their elf costumes, and they're all getting laughed at, and I think it's because Lewis has popcorn in his teeth.
Yeah.
What a dumb fucking episode.
I think ladies like costumes. If you show up to the bar in a costume,
Yeah, you think
not
it helps?
even like ladies. I think maybe some like, especially if you're going out on like Halloween or around the holiday, or like if there's some reason that someone had to dress up for something and somebody showed commitment to it.
Sure.
I think that's an attractive quality.
Counterpoint SantaCon. All those people can go to hell.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Well, they're all getting with each other, you know?
Right. Well, that's what I was gonna say. It's a bunch of Santa's bumping nasties, but it's like, you know, I fucking can't. Those people are nightmare people. Gross. So yeah, that was the 11th episode. So then we go to episode 12. That was our goodbye episode. This is our hello. Episode 12 is called "We're Back." They're back. Yeah, that's literally the title of it. Is They're Back.
They're back.
But again, I like this.
Oh, you know what?
Hey,
I was trying to understand why, and like I get it, but like not really, because we haven't met.
Well, but
we
they
met the
lived
dad,
there.
but they lived there, which
so
is
they're
why.
back. They moved back.
So anyway,
spoiler. But Lewis and Oswald in our cold open decide that they're going to reward Drew for getting them that holiday job as elves. So they get him a big screen. Not a big screen TV, but just a magnifying glass that he can put over his television so that it looks
bigger.
Yeah. Now it's a small. They do understand the magnifying glass is smaller
than the actual.
So you're really not getting a bigger picture. You are, but it's not that.
No, now you're just magnifying certain parts of the screen. Though.
Right.
So now
you can see part of your TV.
You can read the lower third very clearly.
You can read like the medical ad copy at the bottom.
Right.
That's like, this pill might fucking kill you. Yeah. So anyway, they're trying to watch on TV. There's like a weather report, I guess. There's a hurricane hitting Florida.
There's a Hurricane Jacane.
Jacane?
That's what Jacane.
I've never heard about that as a name.
Hurricane Jacane. At first I thought it was just a weird way Kate said it, but then they all said Jacane.
Jacane. Wow.
Hurricane Jacane.
Okay.
Anyway, it's blowing roofs off of houses, doing hurricane shit. It's just out here doing hurricane shit.
Yeah, Jacane's out there doing hurricane shit. And Drew starts to worry about his parents.
Because his parents live in Florida.
They've retired to Florida.
They're watching the weather report, and they're like, oh, this is actually close to where my parents live.
Yeah.
Their parents' house.
Moments after
they come knocking at the door.
Drew's dad walks on in as if like it was as if it's a sitcom.
Yeah.
And like opens the door. He's like, what's going on? Drew's mom follows after. We hadn't met his mother before. His mother is played by an actress named Marion Ross. Gotcha. And his mother's name is Balula. With George.
Did we really get
Balula?
I don't remember that at all.
This is what I remember it a couple times, I think.
They said Balula in the show?
I think the dad says Balula, like when he's screaming at her.
See that?
Balula.
That's way too close to beluga.
Yeah, Balula whale.
Balula.
Marion Ross. I don't know anything else that this woman has done, and I feel bad, but now I'm clicking on the wiki. Also in Happy Days. God damn.
Oh,
There's
yeah,
a
they
fucking
do
Happy
just
Days
love
to Drew Carey pipeline.
pipeline.
That we have to uncover one day.
I mean, I guess Happy Days isn't that weird. Considering when this started, that was still such a relevant show in people's minds.
Oh,
I
for
guess
sure.
I get it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But,
And it
yeah.
just ended.
So yeah, they had no idea.
I do just want to interrupt this real quick as well. She is also the voice of SpongeBob SquarePants' grandmother.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. And
Grandma's cookies?
she does voiceover work on King of the Hill, but unfortunately the Drew Carey Show fan wiki does not elaborate. We love King of the Hill on this podcast.
Yeah,
so
we do.
I would
Shout
love
out.
to. Other recurring roles include that 70s show Gilmore Girls. I don't know
Wow,
what she did on either of
she's
those.
been on a lot of hits.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Anyway, Drew's parents, Balula and George,
Yeah.
no clue that this hurricane was happening.
Yeah, they've been driving up before it even hit.
Yeah, they were driving up for a week, they said.
Turns out they had their house defaulted on, foreclosed. I don't know what the correct
the
term
bank
is.
seized it,
Yeah.
and
They got nowhere else to go, so
I guess they ran out of money.
Yeah. We soon learn why.
Yeah, we're in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And they decide to elaborate a little more.
And it turns out Drew's mom decided to put in they got a land scam basically.
Yeah,
is what they were
Florida
saying.
land scam.
Yeah.
Some guy
promised them
promised
that
them
if
that,
they put money down on swampland, Disney was going to turn it into Gatorville,
right.
which was, I guess, an extension of Disney World that was involving gators. So they lost $100,000 or something.
Yeah, I thought it was
It might have been more.
It was I think it was 75 or maybe that
Thousand?
was
Okay. It was a good chunk
It
of
was
change.
a good chunk of change.
Yeah, and they straight up blew it. They are optimistic at this point that they are going to be able to get it back in a class action lawsuit that they are filing on this fucking Florida land scam that they've bitten into. But no luck so far, so they have decided that they need to come back to their original home, Drew's now home, and just stay for a little bit until they can get their bearings,
Yeah, it's the only place they know, the only way. I mean, what else were they going to do? That
Exactly.
makes sense to me.
No other choice.
That they showed up at his door.
Yeah.
And
So-
they drove the Winnebago up, and then I guess his dad's like, "Hey, he's hungry. He's like, who wants salami and salami omelets?"
Yeah,
that's what
salami omelets. And Drew jokes about not having salami, and his dad goes, "Well, let's go to the butcher store." And he's like, "Dad, butcher stores aren't a thing anymore."
Grocery.
Yeah. I also just want to point out the dynamic with Drew's mom and all of his friends. She fucking loves Oswald.
Oh yeah.
She's blowing up Oswald, talking about how handsome he still is, and she can't believe he's single. And she turns to Lewis and she goes, "Just keep doing you."
Yeah.
Clearly
Hang in there.
disinterested. Hang in there. She apparently tried to set Kate up at one point with, or sent her a photo of a young
John F.
eligible
Kennedy?
bachelor, John F. Kennedy Jr.,
John F. Kennedy Jr.
who was
sorry.
still alive, I imagine, at this point. I don't know when he died. That'd be kind of be very dark for them to talk about John
No,
JFK Jr.
JFK Jr. was alive and still.
in the late 90s.
Yeah.
I don't know when he died exactly, but yeah.
Did he? He's dead, right?
He's dead. I did plane crash, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, he was alive in the
Yeah.
90s.
So
Seinfeld had a whole episode about him.
Lisa. Kate tries to explain. That's a John F. Kennedy Jr. I don't think. And Drew's mom, one of my favorite lines, goes, "Oh, that doesn't matter. He's a Kennedy. They sleep around. That's the joke." You want to talk about Drew's dad and Lewis?
Oh, Drew's dad, and so whenever Drew goes out to go get salami
He
with
takes
Oswald,
yeah.
Lewis says, "So how's the old horse holding up?" Talking about the Winnebago.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Drew's dad doesn't pick up on that, and he's like, "You're a man." And he said,
And he starts getting into some graphic talk.
Yeah, he says, "Still salutes, but not as many parades."
Yeah.
So,
And Lewis goes, "I was talking about the Winnebago." And then he goes,
and he goes, "Oh, solid as a rock and can speed through tunnels.
And then Lewis goes, I lost the thread. Where what are we
Like, I don't
talking
know.
about here?
Okay, which are we talking about?
I love a good double entendre.
Yeah.
God, it's perfect.
Yeah, that was good.
So yeah, now we kind of get life with Drew's parents in the
With the
fold.
Careys, we kind of get a little snapshot into what it was like for Drew growing up.
Absolutely, they can't avoid him even at work. So the next scene, I believe, we get Mimi giving like a multi-level marketing sort of pitch to a young woman at her desk.
Yeah.
About like makeup and all this shit. And then Drew's mom comes in and says she's here for an appointment with Mr. Carey. And, Mimi starts giving her this whole bunch of shit. Like, oh, it's incredible. I think you would raise a piglet that you found on the side of the road. Oh, yes. Drew's mom says, oh, you must be Mimi. I think you have a crush on him the way you insult him.
Yeah.
And she goes, it's true, but it's not going to work out because, I'm me being a woman and all that.
And then Drew comes and sets up Drew to come in. And then Drew's mom's like, all right, I owe you $10. She tried the gay angle.
She tried the gay angle. The gay angle.
But turns out Drew's lunch, 2 fried bologna sandwiches, a Twinkie, a ho-ho, and a carrot.
She brought him lunch. I forgot about that. Yeah, I think he says something like it's like a meth addict's lunch. Like it is a really deranged lunch order that Mrs. Carey tries to give to him. She's not just there to drop off lunch, though. She's legit trying to, like, get a job at the department store.
Yeah, so
they can't leave him alone.
She's like, I got to work.
Yeah.
Obviously, because we found out that they don't have any money.
Right.
Mr. Wick walks by. Drew tries to get Mr. Wick to kind of bail him out.
Yeah, to kill it.
Like, tell my mom why I can't interview her for a job. And Mr. Wick's like, why can't you? Go ahead.
Do it. So he goes through with it. They sit down for an interview. We learn his mom, I can't tell if it's all bullshit or not, but his mom has some pretty cool jobs.
Yeah, well, like Drew even makes a joke about her being like Forrest Gump in the way that she's been.
He calls
through
her
history.
Florence Gump, which I thought was pretty good. But yeah, she like works at like a radio station where it was the DJ that played the first ever rock and roll music. Alan something.
Freed?
Yes, Alan Freed. That's what it was. She worked at NASA and apparently was the inspiration for them to get a man on the moon.
Yeah,
in the
she
60s.
suggested to Senator Kennedy, Senator Kennedy.
Yelled at her or something doing it. Yeah, so,
And then she makes a joke about the felony.
Oh, yeah, Drew is like, I have to ask, if you
have a felony. And at first, you can't really tell it's a joke, but she makes up a story about setting the Cayuga River on fire, which famously in 1969, the river in Cleveland just burned.
Yeah. Drew's starting to buy it, and then she says, I'm just joshing with you on that one. Which kind of makes me question if any of that was true.
Right, yeah. After that, I was like, do I buy any of this?
But we do get one piece of true fact here, which is they have lost the class action lawsuit. Because turns out the swampland did have gators. So there was an actual case for Gatorville, I guess. I don't know how lawsuits work, but that seems really just not right,
Yeah. Well, God, I don't know. If you gave up you invested $75K.
Yeah.
In swampland.
Yeah, you deserve to lose that money.
You deserve to lose it. Damn. Sorry, I'm just cold and calculated, man. I think we just rip it out of all their old hands, old shriveled, cold hands.
Yeah. This is how we feel when old people get scammed. It's like, you know what?
Yeah, a little bit.
It's wealth redistribution. Think of it like this. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But yeah, so then, they're now living in there full time is what we get. So this is where we get a real picture of like what it's like for Drew now as an eligible bachelor living at home with his parents. He brings back a girl. Robin, this nice little blonde.
Yeah, I don't know if she's going to come back or what. I don't know how if this was a one-night stand or something.
We don't know anything about her. Other than she decided to come back with Drew, and she's like laughing about how she hasn't been to a guy's house where he lives with his parents since high school or something like that.
Yeah.
So, Drew's mom comes in, confuses her for Lisa. Then he's like, "All right, that was your ex-girlfriend that you had commitment issues with," right in front of this woman. Just totally blowing up his fucking spot.
And then they go up to his
bedroom, and they've pulled everything out of the attic storage, it turns out, and it looks exactly like it looked when he was in high school.
Yes, they have bunk beds.
There's a Farrah Fawcett poster.
As a kid.
Oh, I hate bunk beds.
I don't want them now.
Right.
But as a kid, my friend Ben had them, and they were just.
You were never
so
scared
cool. Of what?
of like being on the top bunk or being on the bottom bunk, and what if the top
No,
bunk collapsed?
I was a bottom bunk kid. But,
Yeah.
well,
you were probably too big to sleep on
yeah,
the top.
I didn't worry about the top.
Yeah.
You know what? I figured if it's my time, it's my time.
God's plan. I like roll around in my sleep, so I was always afraid of bunk beds because I was worried I was going to get my shit fucked, like just rolling over. Like I know they put
Yeah, you
rails
got
on,
rails.
but or the bigger fear I had, which is way more unfounded, but the bottom bed living on there, top bunk collapses on you, and then you get crushed by the bed. This was also my fear.
No, I mean, look, I've definitely had the fear.
Yeah.
You know what?
You get over it.
You get over it.
Yeah.
Take me.
Anyway.
Lord, take me.
Drew thinks this is it's like not gonna work, but the girl Robin, surprisingly, is kind of like into
She's
it.
kind of into it.
She's like,
honestly, it was kind of hot.
Yeah, it's like in
That
high
she
school.
was into
like
it.
your parents right over there, we can get caught. Like she's like into it, so they start making out. And then Mr. and Mrs. Carey starts screaming at the downstairs, like, "Where's the ointment? It's next to Drew's ointment. What kind of ointment?" Just completely.
He has so many ointments.
Why does he have all these ointments? What's his dog's name? Sparky. I just want to say justice for me on one of those last episodes, forgetting the fucking dog's name.
Yeah.
Because you know what?
Speedy.
So does George Carey. Speedy. Sparky.
Speedy the dog.
The disabled dog. I love him. But yeah, so eventually Drew just gives up and starts yelling back at his parents, and the vibe is crushed.
Yeah. But for a minute there, I was like, "Ooh, this is kind of spicy."
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
Where's it gonna go?
Yeah.
It goes absolutely nowhere.
Absolutely nowhere.
Yeah.
Also, just a note: the lips on the Farrah Fawcett poster were worn out.
Yeah.
So.
And Drew says it just came that way. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah, you were fucking kissing it. So the next scene is Drew at the office way after hours. He doesn't want to go home. I can't blame him at this point. It's his space.
No.
Shit, he had the same issue with Lisa. I can only imagine with his parents.
Yeah, it's just happening again.
Yeah. So, but Kate, Oswald, and Lewis all show up, and they're like, "You gotta go, buddy. We gotta figure this out." So Drew decides
He's ironing shirts and he's eating beans out of a can on a stovetop.
it's not good. He decides the only way that he can get his parents to move out is to go basically their route on him, which is to out guilt them.
Yeah.
As a man raised in a Catholic family, the scene we get eventually following this is oh man, fuck, it hit me. You know what I mean?
There's no out guilting the guilt masters.
Exactly. You're born into it, baptism by fire, and there's no way to escape it.
Yes.
So Drew goes back home. Mimi is there and has roped his mother into his multi-level makeup marketing scheme. She's trying to get Mimi's trying to get Mrs. Carey to pour Jack Daniels in everybody's coffee with their drinks, so they're more likely. Yeah, they're more likely to buy in.
Right.
Drew pulls his parents to the side and starts talking with them, and this is where the out-guilting sort of begins. It's like, "Oh, you guys don't want to hear what I have to say or what's wrong with me. It's okay. It's fine." They start biting, but then, fuck, man, every time Drew thinks he has something about, like...
Oh, they hit him with
something worse. So it's like, "Oh, no, it's fine. We'll just live in the car.
We don't know where we'll go.
It's cold in January.
We always get by.
We get by. It's okay. Oh, we're scammed out of our money." Eventually, Drew loses this battle.
Yeah.
It was inevitable.
Drew literally hands them the house keys.
Yeah. And goes, "I can't believe you got scammed." And he just leaves. Before we forget, though, too, Drew is having his underwear hung out outside. This is what we see before he comes in.
Yes.
I like this little physical gag. His mom's hanging his underwear in January, freezing temps. He taps on the pair of underwear, and it just
shatters
to pieces. So fucking funny. Yeah, so this is kind of like it leaves us a little up in the air.
Yeah, we don't know what's going to happen with Drew in his house.
The closing is he moves in with Oswald and Lewis.
Yeah.
He tries to guilt them. He asks if he can just leave his bags here for now. And they go, yeah, sure. And they take the bags and they slam the
shut the
door in his
door.
face. And then they go, nah, come on in.
But they're good boys.
Yeah.
They let him in.
I think that would be a really fun time. As somebody who's lived with his close friend for a couple
Yes.
of years, I think that'd be a great fucking
To all of a
twist.
sudden, like, oh, I have to, let's revisit what this is like.
Yeah, for
That'd
sure.
be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Though we'll see if he can, deal with the toilet seat on the wall and all that shit. That apartment, the one time we were in there, was nuts.
Oswald said that they were going to spray down the couch for you.
Yeah, you get the vibe that it's going to be.
Well, I'm interested.
Yeah,
in
they
the
they
frat
have
house.
successfully hooked me into whatever the next episode's going to be.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But yeah, that'll be for a later date. That concludes this episode, I think.
Yeah, that concludes our ep, guys.
Thanks for listening. Instagram, Cleveland Rocks Podcast. Email us, clevelandrockspodcast@gmail.com. Give us a review
Yes.
on whatever app.
Tell us
iTunes,
what you loved.
Spotify. And if you hate it, just don't say anything.
Don't say anything.
You don't got to say a fucking thing.
Not saying anything is so much more powerful than saying anything.
Silence is golden unless it's nice.
Unless
then,
it's nice.
Then scream it from the rooftop. Thank you for listening.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.